How's it going, guys? My name is Oliver. It's your favorite YouTuber once again with another video. Today, I want to make a video going over the whole sales process of how exactly do I get clients. So I know I talk a lot about cold calling, but what is the exact process? Like, how does that look from start, so starting the agency, to actually signing a client and onboarding them into my own business? All right, so today I have like a nice workflow chart that I did. I basically broke it down into 4 phases, and it is the entire process of how to, like, when you start your agency, how to get in front of potential clients, how to close them, and then afterwards how to actually deliver the service so you can get paid for your services. So yeah, it's nothing too complex, but I do think it's a good overview, a good workflow chart to have in mind when you're just starting out and you're kind of confused on, all right, I know I have to cold call to get clients, but what exactly does that look like? Do I send emails? Do I follow up? Like, what exactly do I do? So this will clarify any doubts that you might have about the prospecting and other aspects of the whole agency business. So yeah, without wasting any more time, I'll switch my screen. I'll show you my workflow chart and we'll take it from there. All right, so here we are on the little process that I drew up for you guys. I basically broke it down into 4 phases. All right, so for me, there's the preparation. So everything that's related to actually starting the agency. So like your business email, your offer, your service delivery, your niche, stuff like that. Afterwards, there's the prospecting phase, and then sales, and then service delivery. All right, so that's how I see the whole agency model. And this works obviously for every type of agency, every service delivery, whatever you're doing. This process can work for your agency. So let's get started with the basics. So basically just phase 1, which is preparation. So everything that's in yellow. Very simple. You do the basics. So as I mentioned earlier, your business email, your business name, your Stripe account, your calendar account, like just the basic things that you need to get going with your agency. I made a bunch of video on what exactly are the basics. Afterwards, the most important part, which is creating your irresistible offer. As I mentioned multiple times, without a good offer, you are screwed. All right, so spend lots of time on this. It has to be perfect. Once this is all completed, we're going to source your leads. All right, so I made a video on that as well, how to source your leads. There's a bunch of softwares you can buy. There's also free ways, just like by using Google or Yellow Pages. But basically, you have to find a place where you can find a bunch of leads from your specific niche. All right, so for one niche, one place might be better. For another website might be better to get those leads. All right, so most important things that we look for are the phone numbers. All right, if we can get the list of phone numbers, we are very happy. Once we know where we're going to get our leads from, we have to prepare our script as well as our tracking sheet. This, I've made multiple videos on a script. I also have a tracking sheet that I've completely provided for you guys. So if you find the video, you can just download it in the description and you'll have access to it. But having a good script is very important. I'd say the most important part in a script is, first of all, you have to mention the offer. Okay, somewhere in the script, the offer has to be mentioned. All right, that is how we can kind of rope in these prospects into a meeting. Okay, so if you completely avoid telling your offer, that is very bad. And this is why also it's very important to spend time on creating your irresistible offer. Because if your offer isn't that good, it's not going to be too convincing over the phone. So once you have that prepared, then we go on to the prospecting phase. I recommend typically to do about 100 cold calls per day. This can be quite difficult to do, especially if you're just beginning. All right, so when you're starting out, take your time, focus on doing your cold calls during prime time. For me, prime time is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Doesn't matter how many cold calls you do, set yourself a fixed amount of time instead. So instead of saying I will do 100 cold calls, say instead, I will cold call from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And as you cold call, as you get better, as you refine your script, you will be able to increase the amount of cold calls that you do per day. But ideally, as I mentioned, we want to be doing about 100 cold calls per day. Now, once you do your cold calls, there's basically 2 things that are going to happen. So either the prospect is going to agree over the phone. So they're going to say, yeah, that sounds good. Can we book a meeting for 8 p.m. tonight? That is the best case scenario. So on the phone, you guys agree on a time, and basically the meeting is booked over the phone. So no need to send no email, don't need to follow up, don't need to do anything. Basically, just move on to the meeting. That is ideally what we want to happen, but obviously most of the time this is not what's going to happen. Often enough, what people will say is over the phone, they'll be like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Can you send me an email? Yeah, that sounds interesting. I just have to talk about it with my partner, but I'll reach back to you. Something along those lines. So if they've shown some sort of interest, right, doesn't have to be, it can be like the slightest signs of interest. Yeah, we worked with agents in the past, but I don't know if this is for us. That is considered interested, all right? They've worked with agents in the past, so they know the value of working with an agency. So anything that kind of gives us the sign that, all right, so they might be open to having a discussion about using our services. If it's a flat, no, we're not interested, do not even spend any more time on that prospect, right? Finish the cold calls, no email follow-up, don't do anything. We want people who are kind of on the verge of saying yes, but not completely there. Those are the people we're going to try to convert into yeses. So how do we do that? Very simple. I normally would send an email follow-up, right? So if they say, yeah, can you send me an email? That sounds interesting. I'd find their email, send an email. In the email, very important, don't just send a plain text. Don't just say, hey, my name is Oliver, we spoke on the phone, I run Google Ads. That is not good. It's not going to get you anywhere if you do that. What we want to do is offer something valuable. So what do we have to do in the email? We have to mention our offer, and we have to offer something valuable. That can be a Loom, some sort of PDF, something that's going to help them with their business. All right, you might be able to record yourself, give them a free consultation on their website, on their socials. I can't really tell you guys exactly what to do because it will differ depending on your niche and your service delivery, but do something that's customizable to them, or at least very customizable to their niche. All right, so maybe send a PDF on how to run Google Ads for dentists and send that over to them. And in that piece of content, you want to have some sort of call to action. And your call to action is to book a meeting with your agency. Once you do that, one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to directly book the meeting with your call to action, so with the link to your calendar, or they're just going to open the email, watch it, and then forget about you. They'll be like, yeah, I should probably do it, but I'll send them an email tonight, and they forget about you. All right, these people are busy. It's perfectly normal. It's not necessarily because they don't want your service. It's just maybe they don't see the complete value in it yet. So what we want to do is follow up over the phone about a week later. There's not a fixed amount of time, but that's what I would typically do. If the person on the first cold call tells me, yeah, that sounds interesting, can you send me an email with more information about it? I would send them the email follow-up, offer something valuable, wait a week. If I get no response from that email, I will call back the business and I would basically pitch my services a second time. I'd say, hey, it's Oliver again. Remember we spoke last week about possibly helping you get more clients for your business. I sent you an email. I don't know if you had the chance to look at it. And then basically you would just continue the conversation from there. Afterwards, meeting is booked. This is the end of the prospecting phase. So now we move on to sales, which is personally my favorite part. All right. So this is when you go into sales presentation mode. As I mentioned in my videos, I like using a workflow chart to do my sales presentation. As you guys can see, it's like just for this video, I'm using a workflow chart. I could have just not have a presentation. It was just filming myself and talking. But by having a chart, it visualizes exactly what I'm talking about, and it gives you a good sense of direction of what exactly it looks like. What is the complete process of signing a new client for your agency? So you want to do the exact same thing with a workflow chart, but make it customizable to your service delivery, obviously. Again, I made a video on that on my workflow chart. Just take mine, copy it exactly, switch it up for your specific agency, and you're going to be good to go. On the sales presentation, this is quite complex. I'm not going to go in depth on how exactly to convert clients, but I also made a video on that subject. But at the end of the sales presentation, you either get a yes or a no. If it's a yes, you send an invoice. Once that is paid, congratulations, you now have a client for your agency. And obviously, afterwards, you would follow up with a onboarding email. Basic information. I like to use a Google form and just ask them basic questions. I also like to do the onboarding call with the client. So I'll schedule a call maybe a couple of days after, depending on their availabilities, a couple of days after the sales presentation. And then I would talk with them in depth on what exactly we're going to do as types of ads, what type of offer we're going to be running in the ad. So that's very important. You have to talk about it with your client. All right. So if you onboard a dentist and you tell them like, look, we from our past experience from working with past dentists, we know that offering a free teeth cleaning is normally an enticing offer for us to get new clients for your clinic. Is this something you'd be open to do? Right? Some people are not going to be open to doing free services. They would rather do, let's say, 50% off a teeth cleaning. I'm just using random examples, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So have an onboarding call with a client. Also, you want an onboarding call with the media buyer. So this is the new part, the new sections, service delivery. Sometimes I'll have an onboarding call with the media buyer at first and then with the client. Sometimes I'll have the media buyer with me on the onboarding call. All right, so this is something you have to talk about with your media buyer. Depending on how much work has to be done, this can be interchanged. It's really case by case. I can't really tell you guys exactly what to do, but one onboarding call with the client and one with the media buyer. Afterwards, once that is done, then you basically just go on to the service delivery, and from there, you deliver what you promised them, basically your irresistible offer. So yeah, that is the complete process of basically how to sign your first couple of clients for your agency. As you guys can see, it is not too complicated, especially with cold calling. I don't want you guys, I know it's like easy to get overwhelmed on YouTube by watching all of these videos. This person has this secret email template. This person has this secret method on how to get clients. The way I do things, I just ask myself, what is the easiest, most simplest way that I can achieve my goals? And for me, this has been the way. All right, just sticking to good old cold calling that works. The whole offering something valuable like in the email, that's pretty important. So I do take time on trying to find what exactly you guys could offer in your emails. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The whole process of how to sign new clients for your agency. I hope this was valuable. And yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye-bye.